Welcome to this episode on the Health and Happiness Show, where it's my mission to change your mindset so that you can live a healthy and happier life. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Let's go. Hey guys, it's Ollie here, and welcome back to another episode on the Health and Happiness Show. Today we are joined by an incredibly inspiring guest. In September 2003, this man's life changed forever when at the age of 23, he was convicted for manslaughter after a one-punch blow that took the life of another man. After serving his sentence in prison and being released in 2008, this man has since dedicated his time to turning his life around. Today, he is the owner of LS Results, an elite personal trainer and gym owner, creator of LS Mills, and has established himself now as a proficient motivational speaker. The story of how this man has turned his life around and how he's now on a mission to give him back to changing and saving people's lives through health and fitness is what inspired me to invite this man onto the show today. It is therefore with great pleasure and excitement that I welcome and introduce to the show Ryan Quinn. Ryan, how are you, my friend?
I'm good, Ollie. How are you?
Mate, I'm very, very good. Now, look, I want to dive deep into going back in time, and I appreciate this is a raw and sensitive question, but I want to take you back to that moment that everything changed. What happened, and how did you immediately feel during that period? Tell me.
Ollie, I was actually 21 when it happened. I was in prison when I was 23. What happened? I've spoken about this before on it was a RTE interview, so it is live and it is on Google search. Anyone that wants to really talk about that, but you know, there is sensitive parts in this when we have this interview here that, to me, are still raw, and out of respect to the fellas at Finbar. I actually now can say his name. You know, it took a long time for me to even be privileged to say his name. You know, in public, and it sounds weird to others, but there is a massive respect there. You know, for Finbar. If he was living today, there's no doubt me and him would be knocking about. He'd likely be in the gym and things like that. So, look, without going too deep in it and you know, waking and, what did you say, sleeping dogs, my biggest memory, there's two memories. One I'm not sure, but the one I will share, the one when I knew when reality hit was whenever I seen, you see it in movies, a white tent, you know. When I seen that, I knew, you know, that life changed for me. Now, whether I was going to be still here today, 17 years later, in September, I had a lot of hills to climb, you know, and in respect to the family, they're still climbing that hill, you know. You know yourself, it's a very touchy subject because some of them will listen in here. And I will say it on here, I do be in contact with his only brother, and the mindset that guy has now is unbelievable. The change that he's made, you know, is unbelievable. So, like, back then, the 21-year-old running about, I was into my fitness back then, and to be honest with you, back then it's not like it is now, you know. It's far more high-tech now back then, but just as a young lad running about, Tyrone were about to play in the All-Ireland final 2 days later. I had friends playing then, just getting ready for the big weekend, and it didn't happen, you know. I ended up in a prison, in a cell for 7 days back then, like, and I was 21, like, so I was only a kid.
What went through your head at that moment?
Honestly, loads of thoughts. There was suicidal thoughts. There was waking up, like I was falling out of sleep. When I was in the police barracks, I was falling out of sleep and waking up, and like, honestly, you never hear people saying, "I wish I was dreaming." I mean, I wish I was dreaming. That's how bad this was. I mean, wearing like they would have they took my clothes and all that time. They put a paper boiler suit on me. They were constantly changing it because the sweat kept, it was the amount of stress that I was going through, and again, I always go back to those people going through a lot more stress than me, because they had lost someone. So it was crazy. There's like, I would never want to see like this. I see it now, young fellas going out and getting into fights, stuff like that there, and both sides, my side and their side, I would never ever wants to see anybody go through this again, and it will happen again. It's happening, and it's just if the mindset's right, if I had the mindset I have now, it never would have happened.
So tell us about that. We'll carry on a little bit, in terms of, I want to touch into the prison life, but just before we get into that, tell us a little about what have you acquired now in terms of your mindset looking back. And it's almost as if you could tell your 21-year-old self, but then like, what are those mindset lessons you have learned throughout that 17-year period?
So many. First one, never hold a grudge. Never ever hold a grudge, whether you fall out with someone, be it business, be it anything. Boyfriend, girlfriend, best friend, sort it out there and then. All right? It's very easily done. Sit down, have a chat. If you can't sort it out, it's a very easy thing to do. Hit block. Just hit block, move on with your life. That's one of the biggest mindset things. And it took me, I didn't learn it then. It took me, even the recent years to learn that. It's never to hold a grudge. Accepting an apology and giving an apology are I say, two of the best punches you could throw, or one of the best punches, is just saying sorry and accepting it, or vice versa. So like, even in business, if things don't work out, there's always an hour later. Everybody says there's always tomorrow. There's always an hour later. So that's one of the most biggest mindset things I took out of it is never hold grudges. Just forgiving, change of heart, things like that. Two different kind of things. If we talk on here, I can go into that. There's two things: forgiving somebody, and then there's a change of heart. Sometimes you just can't forgive something, but you can have a change of heart. So yeah, that would be the biggest thing back then. That and control alcohol would be a massive one. Control the amount of alcohol you take in. Is it for you or isn't it for you? But they would be two massive things there. Now, alcohol being another thing I would definitely, any young person in here watching me, because I know there will be, is you're not tough. You don't stand out. You don't, if you're taking alcohol, there's a person in there. There was a person in me, and that alcohol. I do have a drink now. I'm actually one of the worst people for drink ever, but it just gives me anxiety the next day when I wake up. But alcohol, drugs, those things there don't make you stand out any better than your friend or somebody else is at it. So yeah, definitely don't hold a grudge. Just control your alcohol intake.
I think that's powerful. Look, I've been myself obviously in different contexts, but holding a grudge is toxic. It's a toxic emotion. It's a toxic feeling, and it holds you back, I think, emotionally and spiritually in life. Let's dive deep into prison life, because I can tell you this first and foremost: I don't think I would survive. Right? I don't think I'd get through prison. The actual thought of it scares the hell out of me, which is probably why I try and be a good boy and as sensible as possible. But talk to me about that, because I think to get through, like serving a sentence, that's a different subject, but getting through prison life with mindset is another subject. And that's what I want to dive deep into. How did you get through that mentally? Not only in terms of the duration of the sentence, but
Yeah.
why you're in there, and then also the actual environment of prison?
My first memory of prison was I was in a cell, and this is going to be on remand now. I was only 21. I was on remand, and I was up for get bail. All right, so I had to go to video link, and the night before I was to go up for video link, there was a fella sharing a cell with me, and he basically said to me, and this is like, we'll go raw here, like, he said to me, if I don't get video link in the morning and bail, I'm going to cut my wrist. I says, that's my kid, like, I says, right, no problem. I got called for a video link, went down, didn't go for it because there was funeral arrangements stuff were happening, so we respected that, and I says, right, I'm going to have to stay here another while, it'd be an hour, a week or so. And I come back up, and the fella done what he said he was going to do the night before. I witnessed that. That was the start of prison life for me. Seeing someone who was mentally broke. Not only was I, but I wasn't at that point. So it's seeing someone whose mental state was worse off than your own, and I witnessed that, and I was very young when seeing the blood and things like that. And I hope any young one is listening here, this kind of changes their mind on things to do this weekend, the following weekend, or they fell out with anybody online, or someone's giving them a hard time. Just let it go. Move on, get help. From authorities, things like that. Don't take it into your hands, So that was that was me on remand. My first day in basically prison life. That happened to me. About a week later, then I got released on bail. Now, I had very strict bail conditions. It was like curfews from, I think it was 8 in the morning to 6 in the evening. I had a sign in the barracks 3 times a week. At a certain time, I wasn't allowed into the local towns. I wasn't allowed into restaurants. I wasn't allowed into basically everything. I was allowed to go to work and come home. Even football training, I couldn't go to football training because it was a curfew, a 6 o'clock curfew. So, it was tough at the time, but as I say, looking back now, it built a mindset that I have today. I'm not saying I've got a bulletproof one, but sometimes I can get a wee bit of quicksand, but I know through times like that I can get myself back out of it. So that continued for about 2.5 years. I was on those conditions. Anything in that time kind of happened? No, just it was basically I spent a lot of time on my own, spent a lot of time at home, and then finally that day come that I had to say goodbye to my family for a while, all right, not forever, for a while. I'm always very respectful of what I was still a life ahead of me. Packed the bag the night before. I remember walking. Parked the car. Or do you mind? I don't know if you'd have meant people. It was called in shops. That's where you used to park. In Belfast. It was called in shops back then, and it was basically you could park your car there. And I walked over towards the court, but I walked past this big, massive hole in the ground. And I says to my dad, I says, "Daddy, what's that big hole for?" Like I was only a cub. Like I was 22, 23. Like I'm 40 next year, so I look at myself. I look at it 22, 23 as really young. Like I lost all them years, but I got the rest of the years back. I always have to be respectful of what I say here, because I'm still living a life. And I looked down at the ground, and my father says, they're building a shopping centre there. I says, right, that's no problem. And then through the front doors, you see the doors, you always see that Langside Court, and that was the last I seen, outside for 2 years. Now, when I got out 2 years later, do you know what was in that hole?
What?
Victoria Square.
No way.
Victoria Square was dust, yeah. It was a big hole right down into the ground. And I didn't know what they were doing. It was just all muck and all, it was all dug up. And I came out and Victoria Square was built. Then I went in that court that day, and it was a very emotional day. Emotional day for everybody, both sides, And I made the local priest there, and he done a got up and spoke about me, and what he knew about me and things like that. And then the judge gave me 4 years. He gave me the maximum sentence that time. It's higher now. Give me the maximum sentence, and that was it. They just cuffed me, took me downstairs, put me in a room, and that's when, honestly, I started breaking. I broke down. I started hyperventilating. I was getting anxious. There's not much you can do. It's just as an 8x4 room, and I just suicidal thoughts. 4 years, even though it was only 2 years, all that was going through my head. How am I going to do this? Sat there most of the day because that was early morning, so I had to sit there all day waiting on all the. I had to wait on all the other. So I know it all now, because back then I was going, why am I sitting here all day? I was hitting all the other guys to go through, get all their sentences, and then we were all put in this called horse box into the. You'll see their prison vans drive up in motorway. And I was cuffed, put into one of those. About 5:30, again, I was sentenced 10:30, 11 o'clock in the morning, so I was there all day. Got into the horse box, prison van, took to McGabry prison, and you talk about it, you were checked in about 10 times. Imagine going to a hotel and you check yourself in. This place checks you in 10 times. You're stopped, check, search, stop, search. Everybody search. It is maximum security in there. And just basically up the reception, check your bags in. We'll give you so many amount of clothes, and straight in you go into the prison. And I was actually, the first night I was in, I was put in a cell with a wee fella from Scotland. He was smoking the dope. I had never seen drugs in my life. I hadn't even a clue. He was talking a pile of nonsense, and only now that I realised, what's wrong with this man here? But he was high, So it was a good. He offered me whatever he had, crisps and things like that. There, don't get me wrong, my appetite wasn't that great. And then I was in that. That's like a committal wing. You're there for so many days, and then I was switched up into the prison sentence started proper. I was put in a cell, and a man put in a cell with a boy they called him Coco the Clown. He was from Derry, and again he sat all night laughing, and I hadn't a clue what was wrong. It was giving me so much anxiety. I was so paranoid, but again he was high. But again, it's all learning. It's all mindset. I know it's an awful way. I had to get a mindset, but all these things here, these are all things that run through my head. So once I got my head around that kind of thing, there was drugs in the place, and there was different things going on. I knew I had to up my game and keep myself well alert. I ended up getting a job I got a job actually in the reception. It really meant it wasn't really locked up all day. I got a job in there, and I was doing cooking, and I've never cooked anything in my life.
You already know.
It was a bit of bacon burnt, and I hadn't a clue about nutrition, nothing like that. So I got that job there, and I kept getting the prisoners, all the prisoners that I didn't know, shouting at me, "Root." I hadn't a clue what that meant, right? Not a clue. They thought I was a sex offender. This was the next thing. So it was like, there's so many crazy things happened. Because I had that good job, they thought that's who I was. There was a fella in the prison that time that knew me. He got word to me to tell me, look, you need to get out of that job because you're a sex offender. I said, Jesus Christ. So I got out of that job, and I ended up, what did I end up doing? I ended up doing about 6 months then. So this was the awful part of it. I done about 6 months up in McGabry prison, which is category A. It is every single movement is monitored. Doesn't matter where you're going, you're monitored, right? So I done 6 months there, and this is the first time I was ever in a proper gym. This was the gym thing was like this was whenever I was in a proper gym, and I mind been in the proper gym, and I mind some of the prisoners that I've seen in it that would have been notorious in Ulster, if not the world. I was within touching distance of them because you were allowed in the gym kind of together. And like I'm not going to name drop a name, but there were big names like. And I just at that stage there, I just said, this is proper bars, proper plates. Like I'd never seen anything like this before. I'd been in gyms before, and they were nice. They were good gyms. Like this was dog's balls, right? And I just knew this is where I need to be. When I was there, I was out of prison. You know, it's weird. It was an
escape. It was an escape, yeah.
But I was in there, I was out of prison. And I mind asking for a job. And they laughed at me. See, there's not a chance. There's a list the length of our arms of people wants this job. And you're not getting it. You know, so but we'll put you on it. But then I got moved then down to McGilligan prison. And then that was my next journey again. So, like, if you want to ask me any more questions, I hadn't got the gym job at this stage, but if there's any more questions you want to ask me, I know I can go on a wee bit here because it's a never-ending story. But if you want to ask me any more questions,
yeah. So dive into the gym. You know, you got a job in the gym.
No, I didn't get it. I asked for it.
Did you you did your qualifications in the gym?
Yeah, so whenever we go on, how I got it. So I was moved down to McGilligan, and McGilligan have a big airport hangar. It's like a thing you put an airplane into, and they turned that into a gym. I mean, you're talking back then. That's what 2005, 2006. You're talking pre-core, all the top stuff. Indoor soccer hall, and I walked in and I says to. They actually asked you what kind of a job. There's everything. There's education. There's joinery, there's bricky, there's anything. If you want to be a teacher, if you want to get your head down and you want to come out of there with something, you can get it. So I asked for the gym job. They laughed at me again, not a chance. I wrote it down as that's what I wanted. I don't know. I have this kind of a thing in me. At times I just don't take no for an answer. And still, I just don't take no for an answer. I love taking chances. I am not afraid to fail. I'm not one of these like motivation speakers, stuff like that. I'm just too simple as that. As I say, I wasn't brought up. I was dragged up. A lot of people say I was fed with a silver spoon. I actually said to someone, actually a gym owner in Belfast the other day, he rang me. You know him yourself. He says, "Well, he's still been fed with a silver spoon, but he began to get the same thing too." And I says, "No," I was fed with a silver knife. I says, and I licked off it. You know, but you know, as I said, and then another time I say, "After you're fed with a silver spoon," I says, Daddy held it out, but I says, I stretched my neck out far enough and I had off it, you know. So I don't know if I kind of lost myself there, but to get back in it, I remember I kept asking every time I went to the gym. I kept asking, and they started to like me around there. You know what I mean? There was a lot of people from Belfast in the prisons in Derry. And you had that real staunch Belfast accent, real staunch Derry accent, and the next thing you had me come a big farmer's accent on me. You know, the Nike Max on me. I started wrestling, you know, because I had to fit in, but the voice just did not fit in. So the guys that ran the guys that ran the gym, they would have been prison officers, but they would have dressed up as they would have dressed in they were dressed in a different uniform, like a sports uniform. But they would have went into the wings as well. And they wore their uniform, which was funny to see. You know, it's like you'll see your client in the gym with their gym clothes on. Next thing you see their army clothes on, you're like, I've actually done a good job with that person. That's the only time you get to see it. So they took a shine to me and they took a trust to me. And now don't get me wrong, I was no angel in prison. If you can ask me any questions, yeah, I'm not going to sit here and say I'm an angel. It wasn't, far from it. But I got the job in the gym. They come and asked me that I wanted it, and I took it. And you know what? I was there for 18 months. And I think my gym has been that successful because I've run it like a prison gym. The exact same way as it was running there, my place is running. So I'm actually in the office here, it's just next door. So I took a prison approach at it. And that's where it all began. And I worked in it for 18 months. And you talk about mindset, you had a routine, and you know yourself, we have a routine. And that routine is up in the morning, get your shower, get your breakfast. If you're intermittent fasting, if you're into that, do that, So, you got your breakfast. Some days we had a fight over breakfast. You didn't intermittent fast because you'd intermittent fasted all day. You wanted a fight. So the fighting match over, big kids fighting over Weetabix. So you got your breakfast, then you'd have been called for work. You went to your work, then you would have worked for about 2 hours. I'd been up there making sure everything was clean and tidy and stuff like that. Making sure I was meant to make sure nothing would pass through the gym, but I was maybe cleaning the toilets at that time. That happened because you got yourself in trouble. So that was my job from the morning. Then about 12 o'clock we come down and you talk about routine, the same as us guys. Do your clients in the morning, then you come up, you knock off. It's the exact same routine. 12 o'clock knocked off. We had we all got our dinner. The prison guards, they locked us up for maybe an hour and a half to come back, let us out again. We done a shift again, and then they come back again and locked us up for an hour around 5, and they let us out again around 6. And I either could go back to work, or I could have stayed down in the prison wing and floated about and talked through cells and stuff like that. But I normally go back up again, and then 8 o'clock back down. Basically shouted water. You got to get your hot water, whatever you're getting, and boom, door closed. That was you. You were a wee world of your own. It's like when I go into my office here, me almost like that wee time to me brings me back to being in the cell on my own. And I could get so much stuff done, even though I was silly stuff, sticking posters on the wall or writing a letter or so it that kind of life, it kind of grew the mindset I have now. I'm not saying I have a perfect mindset. I've been asked on the podcast and stuff before. I've 9 times out of 10 I said no. Why I went on yours, because I've actually followed your journey. You can turn around and say to me you couldn't do a prison life, but what you were handed, you dealt with it. You're still dealing with it. Like I'm dealing with what I'm dealing with. It's we're all dealt. We're all give something to deal with, and I could have give up. I could have give up. I could have took the easy way out. Many times, I'm not embarrassed to say it. I did get involved in things in prison that I shouldn't got involved in. Things that can mess up your head. Likes of fat burners, steroids. I never. People ask me. I say, my parents know. They all know. And those things did play a part in upsetting massively my mindset. Putting a hormone into my body, and then it maybe not getting it when it's supposed to get it again, and then it going searching for it. And all these young boys now think, if I take this or I take that, that's not. It's not. Your body is made naturally to do things. When you put something else in it that kind of takes over that part of nature, and then that natural thing kind of dies down a wee bit, then it's not getting the whole body to just mess up. So again, any young lads listening here, do your research and that kind of stuff too. So I was at them kind of things. I was what do I say? I was very naive. I was young. I'm never going to blame myself, because I had the mindset back then to say, you're meant to make those decisions. You can make those decisions. I let others make them decisions for me by, hanging around with the wrong people. Still do it on the outside. I was I was linking up with the wrong people in there, you know. I don't get me wrong, some unbelievable people in there too. People I learned so much from, people I'm still in contact with. Some of the nutcases in there too. There's a lovely part in everybody, you know.
Tell me this: did you make friendships inside?
Yeah. Oh, I did, I did, and still to this day, yeah. And you know, just not too recently there, a friend of mine was getting a hip replacement, and there's a fella in one, and I'll not tell you what replacement he was getting. He was getting a replacement. I think it was a knee replacement. And the first thing he says to me, he says, I said, hey man, he says, where are you from? He says, I'm from Marbo. He says, do you know a boy Quinner? I says, who Quinner? And he started explaining, he says, oh, you tell him, Ryan Quinn. Next thing my phone started going. I looked and your man was ringing me from our fella's phone. Like, so no, and it was lovely to see him, you know. I know maybe he hasn't, his mindset just hasn't changed. But yeah, and some, you know, even, you know, people in there, like I seen a man in there, he was in his 70s, I'd say he's possibly dead now, and he was way overweight. He was in for something to do with tax, just something stupid, right? And he got 2.5 years. But to see someone, you know, at 75, 76, overweight, not fit to clean himself, not fit to change his clothes, and when I was 23, I started to do that, you know, for him, help him out. So yeah, I made some great friends in there, still have them this day. They'll be on my Facebook, some of them are writing stuff and after blah, late the time, you know. So and this the kind of tell the viewers, you know, the kind of boy it was. Never nothing bad. So yeah, I made some great friends in there, you know.
Ryan, what was the toughest time for you in prison? Was it the moment that you walked into the jail for the first time? Was it in some regards leaving prison? What was that toughest time for you during your sentence?
There's a lot of tough times when I was there. Like every day was tough, you know, the stroke of the days off the calendar, things like that. But one moment that stands out for me was when I suffered the loss of a loved one in tragic circumstances, and that was in prison. My uncle, who would have been the age I am now, back then he was 38. He had a stammer. He was a magician. He was unreal on the playing anything. Could have played anything. He was a brilliant singer, but he had a really, really, really bad stammer. You know, he couldn't string a conversation together. But he was so talented, music-wise. And he took his own life. When I was in there, I worked with him. Like I basically idolized him. You know, I have an uncle on each side of the family that I idolized. You know, and he was one of them. And basically, Mum was down to visit me, and Mum hardly ever came to prison to see me because it was very difficult for her. You know, all the searching and you know, everything we got there. So it really, really upset her. So she didn't really come, but she came this Wednesday. I'll never forget it. I think it was the 27th of May, and I was due for my paroles about 2 weeks later. And Mummy left that day. She was so hysterical. I was actually getting a town visit. The next time that they come to see me, it was a town visit. It took me out of the prison for 6 hours to a local town nearby, like Limavady or something like that, and then they left me back. So Mum then didn't have to come into the prison anymore. So it was so she was so excited that was the last time she had to go inside a prison. Because Mum back, like we've never went before me going to prison, but before that, Mum would have had family involved in the troubles very, very deeply and lost loved ones, and loved ones were in prison, and she went through all that again. This was the whole thing starting to come back up again, but she hated the prison. But I'm getting off a track there. But I always, anytime family came, any come to visit, I would have went in, got myself settled back in, because you were seeing somebody from the outside, all right? And you see, it was all an emotional. I always hear you talking about a roller coaster. This was an emotional roller coaster when they left, and like they were going one way and you were going another. So it was like I think there's that feeling you had, you know, when you leave someone to the airport and they're going that way and you're going this way. I love one. So I went in, rang home about a couple of hours later, but it was a couple of hour drive home, and my younger brother, who was, what age would he have been? My younger brother was, what's that? I was very young. He would have been, he was in his early teens, if not even, and he answered the phone, and it was weird for him to answer the phone. And I says, well, the mum get home okay? And he said to me, did you not hear? And I says, no. And he says, Colin he just blurted it out. He hung himself, and he actually done it with the, sorry, my phone just bounced there. He actually done it there with, he done it with a guitar lead. That's what it was, and I love playing the guitar. And that I know there's I caused someone to lose their loved one, and it happened to me, and that was the toughest time in there. And then I tried to get out for the funeral, and they wouldn't let me out. Even though I was only a week. I was only a week. I wasn't even a week away from getting out for town visit. Didn't get to the funeral. I just remember setting the phone down, walked down into the cell, closed the door, and I don't think I've cried as hard. Now I've cried since. I don't think I cried as hard in my life. I had to do that on my own. I had no loved ones around. You didn't want to cry in front of prison mates. And I felt the blow of losing a loved one in a place that I was completely helpless. Nobody can console me. So that would have been my toughest time in prison. But there was many other tough times. But looking back, that and like I remember getting a card from him and all before he was wide, like he didn't there was no back doors on him, as I say around Arbo. There was no back doors on him. He's something to say. He said it, and he sent me a card and still have it. And I actually still have the card there that the guys from all the inmates sent me that time. His anniversary there was on the 27th of May. And I have a few bits and pieces of his clothing as well that I still have. But I actually said this to a client of mine the other day, and this was gospel. I looked at him, and this client of mine went through tough times as well, and I said to him, I'm glad I'm still here. I'm glad I didn't end it. I didn't let the demons in my head and the anxiety, the depression, all those things. I was close to it. There's no point in me, and I don't come on social media and tell about it. But I was close to, none of the LS wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be here. I know people at times would have been very, very cross with me, and maybe felt better. I shouldn't have been here, but I hung in there, and I said it with a massive sigh of relief. I just say, thank God, up there, whoever it was, and I always say it. I can say his name now, Finbar. Him and his strengths were keeping me. Something was holding me up, and that was my toughest time, and that's all. The rest of it was tough, but that was the one that'll never leave me,
To anyone listening that may be going through a dark time themselves right now, thinking of the profound effect that losing your uncle had on you as a loved one, what would you say to anyone who's maybe struggling with a few demons right now themselves?
I would say if there's anyone out there, right, that's wants to help you, right, they want to help you, and they have been through a lot, or even if you know someone out there that's been through a lot, all right, and you would swap places with them right now, right, go and speak to them, all right. You might like to hear some of the things they're going to say to you, right. You might think they're being tough on you. You might like it, but I know back even when I came out of prison that I had mentors, even in the fitness industry, that I now remember the advice he gave me. They were younger than me as well, and I didn't listen. I thought, so I would reach out to someone out there and just share it with them, because always remember, a stranger can become a best friend. I took help and I took advice from strangers, and I was very, very, very embarrassed. I was very anxious. I was very, and I accepted their hand. I accepted their advice, and as I say, I was fit to stand with a client of mine, and just said to him, and a client, so friend, and said to him, I'm glad I'm here today, because it was worth it, and it is worth it. And there's so many people right now going through COVID-19 that are so stressed out. The money issues are really tough. Everything's really tough, but just there is people out there that will help you.
How was it coming out release day? And because I would imagine from an outside perspective, maybe there's an element of fear in terms of judgment, in terms of was prison technically continuing on the outside world as well as the inside. How was that coming out, and maybe starting again from scratch, starting from rock bottom? How was that?
I would safely say my prison sentence didn't start like mine. It didn't. That happened when I was 21. So basically, I was 21 years old. I think my life basically paused when I was 21, right? And I was on house arrest for 2.5 years, so basically never was out. I went in there and I was in for another 2 years. That was basically nearly 5 years of, being under the control of the law. When I come out, I had so many things in my head. I was going to get married. I was going to do this. I was going to do that. When I come out, I wouldn't even say it was a roller coaster. It was, and I'm not saying it wasn't a fun roller coaster. Trust me, it wasn't fun. It was up and down, up and down. I was partying. I was drinking. I was, in and out of relationships. Just meeting some, like I'll always say it, I met some great girls through that period of time. I couldn't settle. But I always kept saying I was going to open a gym. I always kept saying it. But I come out, I had no help. I had depression and I had anxiety when I came out, and I hadn't a clue that I had it. Never said I had it. Wouldn't never admit I had it. But I had it, and I didn't have a clue. And it was maybe, I want to say, it was 6-7 years before I finally admitted there was something wrong with me, But when I get out, I always said I was going to open a gym. I had not a clue. I had the qualification, got it in there. Never really used it. Come out and started working for my father, and I kept saying I'm going to open a gym. I kept saying to my father I'm going to open a gym, and he said to me, "Look, son," he says, and this is the exact words he said to me. He says to me, "I'm not helping you because we're in the middle of a recession." He says, "Where are you going to get the money?" And the other thing, he said, "There's no money in lifting watts." An old boy around here calls it watts. It's weights. There's no money in lifting watts. That's what he said to me. And they tell you this day he was wrong. But I said that was 2007, 2008. The recession had hit, all right? And I had this idea in my head. So I had a brother of mine. He brought in seatbelt extensions, right, for airplanes. So people are overweight. So whenever you went on the airport, they wouldn't fit you. He sold these extensions. He was selling these online. At that time, there was really no online shopping. And he was selling these online. And I asked him, could he get me gym equipment? So he said, right, let me look. So he looked it up and he got me gym equipment. And the price was, would you pay here, pay there? It's two different things. Everything's made in China, People says the coronavirus wouldn't last. I says, why? He says, because China doesn't last. I heard somebody saying that. He done the deal for me, and I still have contacts in China for gym equipment. I brought all my gym equipment basically in from China, and I went for it, and I think I spent honestly, it was like, for what I got was a bargain. I think I spent maybe 25,000-30,000 on my first gym, and I mean, Ollie, I hadn't a clue, not a notion. I winged it, absolutely winged it. I hadn't a notion what I was doing, but I just kept visualizing what I'd done in prison. I says, right, I'm going to mirror image it out here and see what way it goes, and it worked. It worked, and I opened the gym. Now, I ordered the equipment. I'm on this journey from 2009. 2008, I says, right, I started up my premises. I'm still in the same premises. 2009, I done the deal on the premises. I mean, it was awful. Like the inside of the building was, I looked at it, I thought it was great. It was all painted and all. It was bad floor. There was engineers in it before me. So I got the premises, and then I started to get it ready. But you talk about a slow boat out of China. It was a slow boat out of China. That boat took about 10 months to get here. When I ordered that equipment, I was nearly cracking up. And I used to ring the brother. And my brother, he runs a Crumlin Road, Gold, the tourist place, and he runs a Picky Park. I'm giving him a bit of a shout out here. And he does the aquarium down. So he was. I would ring him. He's my younger brother, and he was sending me pictures of one of them big boats that are coming over across the. But then they would see the big units falling off, and I'd say, I think that's your thing there, that circle in it, and it's at the ocean. But do you this now? This is gospel. Got the loan out of the bank. I ended up had enough room in the gym for toilets, shower facilities, because it was only 1,200 square foot or something like that. So I says, right, I'm going to put a unit outside it and link it in. So I bought you see the unit, you see the pictures out front. That's a toilet and shower unit. It ended up costing me £6,000. That was me busted, broke. The gym was meant to open. It was 10 months late. I got a new van. I took a van out on finance. Right, it was £210 a week. That's how much the van was. No, £210 a month, not a week. Square van. It was £210 a week. And I looked at it, I goes, I'm fucked here. Sorry for my language. I say I have no money to pay for this van. My business isn't going. I'm not making any money. I'm not personal training because I was too afraid to personal train because I didn't think I was good enough. And I said, what am I going to do here? So I took a chance in November. I always remember the gym membership, or my payment went the 10th of November. And I says, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get the price of this van. And I was too proud to go and ask my father for it, you know what I mean? Because he told me it wasn't going to work. For me to go and say, I'm not going to need £210 to pay for the van this month. He's going to say to me, look, did I tell you so? And that would have been the kind of thing, like, you know, even though I love him, he's basically my idol. Like. I put it on Facebook, and I'd say you didn't even have Facebook at this time, you didn't know what it was. I put it on Facebook. I wrote up, I says, right, taking so many members' names now will be opening soon. 22 people have given me $19.99, and it covered my van payment. And thank God, the lorry landed on the 16th of November. No, I'm lying. The 4 days later, the 14th of November, it landed. And a pile of my mates come down. I'll never forget them. And they come and we built it. I built it back to front. It was built everywhere. There's people with chests on their backs. We built it that badly. But we built the machines, and it opened on the 16th of November. But we didn't officially open it till December. We were on it for a month. And it officially opened on I think it was the 16th of December. But a month later, we opened it with an official opening. And I'll tell you who was there that night. Mickey Hart was there. I don't know if you've ever heard of Mickey Hart. He'd be the Tyrone Gaelic, a senior football manager. His daughter lost her life in Mauritius on her honeymoon. That was about a week later after that. I'll never forget it. That was back in 2010. Michaela Hart. If you Google it, you'll see it. Like, and he was there that night. I remember him opening. There was a couple of other ones there that night that opened the gym, and that was it. Opened it. That was it. That was me in business. In business.
So I can see the sign behind you today.
Yeah.
Are you proud?
Yes, I am. Today I am, because I tell you why. I never would go on podcasts. I would never go on things like that because I never, I looked at people in the industry years ago, even ones who are younger than me, and I never thought I could hold my own in a room with them, But I know now I can go into a room with anybody. Like, I have multi-millionaires I train. I have people just get by I train. I've got people that are middle of the road, and I don't look at anybody any different. I don't care if you've a pound in your pocket or you've a million in your pocket. See, as long as you have a bit of manners and you don't judge anybody and you don't listen to bullshit, you're my team. You're my team. So like this is like 210. I opened LS Results Arvo. 214-15 I opened LS Cookstown. 214-215 LS Dungiven. There's one up in Dungiven. 215-216 LS Cookstown 1. 217-218 LS Cookstown 2. I opened 4 of them inside, what was that, 8 years. And they're all still running, bar one. And I will say it on here, and anybody listens, the one in Cookstown, the second one, was doing great. I pulled out of it, right, because I wasn't putting enough time into my own. But the second one, the fella that owned it got in serious trouble with the police for something he shouldn't have been at, It was. I'm not going to go into it, but if it was nothing to do with me, and I got out in time, but it was to do with it was sex offender, all right, young 13-year-old, something to do with the police and stuff like that there. So and I'm not, I would love to at the stage come on social media and say this is what happened, because I didn't want to look as a failure. And there's so many people love that gym, and the gym is a place you go to I just fell in the wrong person. As I say, I didn't know, so that hurt me. That hurt me. And I actually tried to buy the gym back, and I had it almost bought, but it didn't fall. It fell through their side, so I nearly had it bought back through the fella's father, because I wanted to see people back in that gym. It was never. I used to be a person who wanted to win, right? So a person who wants to win is a person who wants to be a jack of all trades, right, and a master of none. So you want to have the most gyms, you want to have the most personal trainers, you want to be the best, this, the best, that, and you were never thinking, you never had a business brain in you. You weren't thinking this is a business now, it's not a competition anymore. And I see this now with people. They run the business as a competition. They want to be the best, the best, the best, the best. Whereas, I was one of those people. And once I realized how to run a business properly, then life become a lot easier. So yeah, go back to that. Unreal, to see LS Results, which is the gym, LS Online, which is, online training. If I want the online training, I can get it, right? No problem. If I want it, I just love training people one-to-one. You know what I mean? I love that. The only thing I don't like with my gym is I'm training people one-to-one, and there's people want to talk to me. So I'm training you all out, you're paying me, and then someone tapping my shoulder. It frustrates me. So this lockdown has kind of learned me what I need to do going forward with that, so that stops, because I don't like them. I can't multitask. So I'm one thing, that's it. So like online has been unbelievable. I took Martin Booth on last year in August. Man, this is the thing about people, right? And trainers. They're afraid, and I was one of them, to invest their money in someone to help. Now, don't get me wrong, there's plenty of clowns out there, there's plenty of people out there they'll just mess it up for you. Now, I don't know, I just see them, and I see, like yourself, I just know genuine people when I see them, because I've fucking enough assholes around me too, and I've been an asshole myself. But I said, I'm going for this. And I went for it. I said, people say, right, you're going to invest 10 grand somebody, right? It multiplies when you do it, right? When you do it, and you have a structure, and you know what you want to do, and as I say, don't be a jack of all trades. I mind opening a website, right? I sell living out, everything, clothing, things that I didn't need to, but when I took Martin on last August, see my online business, only for it, honestly, I'd be struggling today. It has given me, I can work with anybody, anywhere in the world, and say, that was LS Online. I opened that about 3 years ago, nearly 4 years ago. And I then was the meals. Where did it come? You know yourself, you've prepped before. You done a photo shoot, and you're eating those prep meals. They're smelling, and they're out of date, and they're just soggy, and they're just, I was approached by a food company, right? Family. I just knew they're workers. They're unbelievable workers. And as I say, back in the day, I was the social media man. Every man said to me, "You got social media, you're scunner, blah blah blah." And the people that are saying that are making, to me, that at that time, never. They're on it every time I switch it on and on now. But I still kept going. My social media is quiet. My business is quiet. So they come to me and ask me, could they sell something at the gym here? And I says, no problem. And that's when they started off. That's about 8 years ago. So they come to me about 10. I actually looked at the message there. I'm actually going to screenshot it someday and put it up. And they asked me, says, look, we have a business proposal for you here. And it says, would you go with it? And I looked at it. And a really good friend of mine, Shirley, I know, yourself, I would say I would kind of online here, something like that, maybe scare women, the way I get on at times. So I needed a woman's touch. So I said, look, will you try these food? If it's stinking, well, forget about it. If you like it, well, Shirley owns a company called Marcon. They do all the fit outs for McDonald's and they don't all the shop fit outs in Victoria Square. Me walking up and down into the hole that time. So I took her on board with me on the meals, and I solely own the meals and online and all myself. But she's a really good friend of mine, and I love her input in it. And she runs her own wee business there as well. SB Fit. She's a serious amount of ladies on at the minute. Brilliant female personal trainer, all online, not really on the floor. So she come down and she's at all the best restaurants. What do you call your boy? He does the Salt Boy. She's at his. She's at with him. She's at everywhere, but all over the world. And she doesn't eat rubbish. And she tried the meals and loves them. And she loves their stews. So that kind of got people into believing in them. So I actually 2 orders a day. Stuart Dallas, Leeds United. And give me 2 seconds because it's not even right that I can't remember this name. Let's see, I'll give you this name now. This is how bad. I should actually know this. But Liam Cooper, he's the Leeds United captain. So the 2 orders come in the day, and these boys pay for these. I'm not into giving things out for free. So that was the LS meals. So we got them, tasted them. They're unreal. I'm eating them now 12 weeks, and I swear to God, see, they're stinking. I wouldn't eat them, right? I wouldn't promote them. They're so good. And I was down there yesterday. I put up on the Instagram and all, on my story of me in where they've been made. Because a lot of these people are, and not all of them, but a lot of people are selling meals, right? They're bringing them in from all different countries. They're putting their logo on them. They're sending them out. And that, to me, I couldn't do that. I just could not. I could not do that. I need to know where they're made. I have to be straight. If you're going to earn a pound, earn an honest pound. All right. You're going to earn it honestly. And spend it honestly. So that's where the 3 businesses come out of. What am I going to do next? I don't know. I was watching I watched the podcast last week, and I don't watch too many. I was actually listening to yours yesterday, the whole way to Carlingford. I actually did. I actually was listening, and I go, listen to that man's voice. It's so professional, and I'm going to go on with this big voice of mine. But I says, fuck it. They'll have to just he can scrap the interview, or he can whatever he does. But I was listening, and I was listening to an interview of John Boyle. I don't know if you've seen it. His company's worth over $2 billion, and he's from Market Hill in Armagh. He owns Boyle Sports, and I listen to his. I don't know if you go onto my Facebook page, you'll see it, right? And there's a boy, Mark McCluskey, who's interviewing him. I mind Mark coming here. I actually ran one of Phil Graham's first ever. It's actually, the thing's up there. You can't really see it. Pretty hard on my phone on me. But I still have the big poster up there on the wall. And actually, Phil's actually signed it. And it was 29th of 11th, 2014. And we had a seminar here, and there was 86 people coming to it, like in 2014, and still, like, it's unbelievable the way it worked. And we sold it. But Mark came in, and I mind Mark coming in, and I think he was dying that day, and he had a couple of protein bars, because I had a performance nutrition here, and he was, gosh, who is this man here? And I always said it every time I seen him at, and I said, this man's nuts. But he now is a mindset coach. And I've been watching his stuff now. Don't get me wrong, it took me a wee while to actually take him serious. I was told that to himself. Like, I'm just, that's just the way I am. And he's doing, he done one 2 weeks ago with Brian McGee, the boxer. He was McGee Fitness. And I thought it was brilliant. I honestly thought it was brilliant. I thought Brian spoke really, really well. And then I seen him, I said, come up my Facebook, billionaire. I goes, what is this man? Where's this man with a billionaire? And it was your man, John Boyle, owns Boyle Sports, the bookies. Raoul Axon on like me. He never shut her. He was like me. He kept talking. But he made so much sense. And it was so simple. How he went from being 14 starting to drink, he's 25, having drink issues. Then he was about getting a land of 6,000. But I listened to the whole thing. It was so good. And his mindset is so simple. So simple. And he was sitting in California overlooking the ocean. All these, like, he was explaining it in his office. And he still has accent and all. Nothing's changed. And it was just all about fitness, all about health, all about the right stuff. He's a vegan. I'm not a vegan, but I have nothing against vegans, so I don't. If anybody wants to do their own thing, work away. I don't slag vegans. Don't slag people that, just let them. That's just the way I am. I used to be one of them clowns that come on and try to be one side, the other side. I just sit on the fence and watch. So his mindset was so good and so simple. So that's me. I'm getting a wee bit lost here. I was a wee bit like John the other day, and I think John kind of give me the see. I'm not to come on something I guess here and talk, and yeah, that's the 3 businesses, and that's where I'm at today,
Well, here's what I want to say, right? So this is true story. When I first started following you a number of years ago, I didn't really know much about you, and I didn't know your story. And you said something earlier. You said about how you would train millionaires and you would train people that just get by, right? And I love that because there's no judgment. And I never judge. I only observe, right? And I used to only observe you. And then when I learned your story, I was like, wow, look where it's come from. And there wasn't, oh, he did that. It was like, wow. Because here's the thing, right? And we'll sort of move into my final question, but like, look where you've gone and where you've got to now. Like, you come from rock bottom, essentially, committing a crime and offense that, you'll probably never truly forgive yourself for. But yet, despite all of that, and despite the demons and all of that, the suicidal thoughts, the depression, look at where you are today. 3 successful businesses. And, as an aspiring entrepreneur myself, I look up to people like you and I go, wow. I look at your story and it's impressive. Yes, you would go back in time and change it if you could. But at the same time, we are the authors of our own story. And you every day are creating that. You're writing that next page. You're writing the next chapter. So that is why I have the utmost respect for you. Moving on to my last question, this ties in nicely. Speaking to the listeners, not to myself, what is the one thing that we can do that will have the greatest impact on both our health and happiness?
The thing that you said there just seconds ago, and I'll correct you. You said that I'd never forgive myself. The only way I could move on in my life is what I had to forgive myself. I was asking a family to forgive me for something that's unforgivable, right? I had to forgive myself. I had to, and this isn't me clowning about or anything. I believe in the man upstairs, and the man upstairs is Finbar. And I had, as people think the weird is, I had a conversation with him one day. Myself, within my, you call it meditating, you call it what you want. And I had a conversation. And obviously I was having a conversation back with myself in my head. And I had to say, would he have forgiven me? Would I have forgiven him? And that's the day that things started to change for me, was whenever I forgive myself. Now, if you do something wrong, don't expect to be forgiven for it, right? You can't. Sometimes people don't. People can have a change of heart, right? And that has happened to me. As I say at the start, me and his brother, I would get a text message from him, and I mean they are inspirational text messages. Unbelievable how well he's doing. So yeah, one thing I'd say, if you've done something in life, if someone's done something on you that has affected you, forgive yourself. Forgive yourself, and you'll still make mistakes. You'll still get in my thing. I get into heated arguments. But I just know now how to leave. So one thing I would tell people that's watching me today is forgive yourself for anything out there that hasn't. If a business has failed through, if a relationship has failed through, if something has failed through, and you're eating yourself up about it, forgive yourself. Because
it's the only way to move forwards and move on.
Move forward. It will come back at times, and I just don't get anxious anymore. About it all. I know. Look, my inbox is full of it. I'm saving lives. I've had people on me to me suicidal. I've had people that are ready to leave this world, and 99% of them I have helped. Even most recently there, and unfortunately, but I had a person message me on a Thursday night. They want to get back into the gym, they want to get training and stuff like that. And I replied back to them, and unfortunately, they died in their sleep about 3 days later. And I haven't really told anybody that there. The message is on my phone. They died in their sleep. It was a heart problem or something like that. But they weren't leading a really healthy life, They weren't overweight or anything like that. I just knew they'd reached out to me and said, look, and I stood back, replied to them. It wasn't like this price and that price. I just said, look, whatever help you need. And unfortunately, they passed away. But I get that every day. People every day ringing me. I had a fella there rang me last week who was bedbound with a bad back, and asked me how to help him. I picked up the phone. I said, here's the number, ring me. So this job I'm in now, I know I'm saving lives, and like yourself and your story.
Ryan, one of the reasons why I respect you so much is because, and look, I don't know what the statistics are, but the majority of people that leave prison, I would imagine, end up back in prison. And yet you've turned your life around. And that's something the majority of people don't do, let alone those who have gone through the prison experience. So I respect you for that.
Well, funny enough, when you say that now, the day I get released, the prison guards actually did look at me and they says, Quinn, and the wink says, we'll see you again. And I says, boys, I can guarantee you now. He says, I won't be back. So that's 17 years ago now, this September from it happened. It's 13 years from I was released, and I've kept my nose clean since, So I've used one of the worst experiences in my life when everybody said, nah, he's not going anywhere here, Even when I came out of school, people told me I was going nowhere, But I grabbed hold of the thing that I love doing, and that's fitness. I always said I want to be a PE teacher. I was never going to get the grades, all right? But personal training come along. Personal training, gym life saved my life, and it's saving loads of others.
Guys, Look, there is so much we can take away from Ryan's story and his journey. And I want to thank Ryan again for being so open and honest in this podcast interview today. I appreciate just how raw and sensitive this information is. But one thing, and this is just my perspective on the whole situation, is look, you can't go back and change the past, but you can damn well control and change the present so that you can have a healthier and happier future tomorrow. So forget the past mistakes, let them go, stop holding on to them, because only until you do will you then find healing and peace in the present tense. So Ryan, thank you so much again, my friend.
Just before you go, when you say that, this is the last thing. You don't want to say you don't rest. You don't rent space in the past anymore because you don't live there. You don't rent space in the future because you haven't been there yet. You rent space here, right now, and that is the present. So guys, live in the present. We'll make mistakes, and as I say, learn from them. Thank you very much for having me on, Ollie. It's an absolute pleasure. It's an absolute pleasure watching what you've been going through the last, I'm watching about 3 years now, and I absolutely thank you from the bottom of my heart for bringing me on here and taking this out of me, because you know it. I've done a lot of things on here now with you that I hadn't been able to do anyone else, and thanks very much for taking it out of me in a gentleman-like fashion. Thank you very much.
It's been my pleasure. Ryan, you sign off most of your videos in a unique way, one which I'm not going to try and replicate. Could you just do, for the honor of this podcast, your signing off signature?
Everybody, keep our LS. Abo.
Guys, until next time, stay healthy, be happy, take care.